you can imagine that out in life, in our relationships, in our business, in our companies, being a leader, you would experience times where probably in the past someone was punished for doing something even to the minimum. So then once you get into that company, guess what? You're going to get punished as well. But you don't even know what the hell it is that you're getting punished for. It's just, it is what it is. That mentality, it is what it is. This is the way that it has been. This is the way we're going to be doing it. What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome to another podcast with Uprise. I'm your host, Leandro Gonzalez. For today's episode, we wanted to change the environment for you guys, and I partnered with the Açaí Brazil place down here at Schofield, right next to the chemo farms, and was able to have the opportunity to be able to film an episode for you guys here at the establishment. They have a beautiful view towards the lake that is absolutely amazing. You probably won't get a view like this unless you go towards the beach. And their acai bowls are actually incredible. Their acai bowls, I've been actually coming here for about 2 years now, before they had this bottom establishment already in place. And now to see that they've been growing as a company and growing as a family to be able to provide such a more beautiful infrastructure is actually an amazing thing to witness. So for today's podcast, we're going to be going over the monkey stepladder experiment. For a lot of you Andrew Tate fans out there, you guys probably have already heard of it through the reels that he has posted. But if you guys haven't, I'm going to be giving you a quick brief description as to what the monkey stepladder experiment is. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an advisory for those individuals who are not fond of animals being utilized towards scientific experiments. You might want to skip this portion of the video and probably go about maybe 10 minutes ahead, so that you won't have to listen to the experiment itself. So the monkey stepladder experiment consists of 5 monkeys, and they were all placed inside of a room one by one, then cycled out eventually later on in the experiment. Inside of the room, they had a ladder placed towards the middle with a very beautiful, nice bundle of bananas towards the top. One monkey was placed inside of the room, and of course, as monkeys do, they see the bananas, they see a ladder, and they're like, all right, well, I should probably climb that ladder and get the banana. Well, guess what? The monkey was sprayed with extremely cold water. Now, if you don't know this, now animals just hate water in general, unless you're a dolphin or some sort of amphibious type animal, right? And the monkey, at that point, you can imagine, will be trained to not go up onto that ladder after the fact. Every time he touched the ladder, tried to get up to grab the bananas, he would get soaked. Now I was with one monkey inside of the establishment. They added another monkey into it. One monkey is already trained that if he were to step foot on that ladder, he would get sprayed with water. The second monkey wasn't. So the second monkey went ahead, climbed up the ladder like the monkey that he is, and they both got sprayed again. Well, before the second time the second time where he had tried to attempt, the first monkey actually beat the living shit out of that monkey first, because he doesn't want to get sprayed anymore. So now the second monkey is trained to not go onto that ladder as well. A third monkey will cycle through, and you can imagine he wasn't even able to get any close to that ladder. Once the third monkey tried to get closer to the ladder, both of the monkeys beat the shit out of the third monkey. Of course, they're trained to not get onto the ladder, because then they will be sprayed with cold water. A fourth monkey was put into the equation. Now you have 4 monkeys inside of that building. The fourth monkey, again, primal instinct to grab the bananas, went straight to the ladder. And before he even got close to it, all other 3 monkeys beat the shit out of him. Now, the third monkey doesn't even know what's going to happen if he were to step foot on the ladder, because he was stopped prior to arriving even close to the ladder. Now, the fourth monkey barely even got close to where the ladder was and was already beat up, right? So you can imagine that monkey now is trained to not even get close to the ladder. Fifth monkey was put into the equation. Same exact thing happened. The fifth monkey was trying to get close. Boom. They beat the shit out of him. At this point, all of the third, fourth, and fifth monkey haven't even experienced what would happen if they were to get onto that ladder. Now they started cycling the monkeys out. They took the first monkey out and placed a brand new monkey. Hasn't even experienced what would happen if he were to get on the ladder. Of course, that new monkey, got beat the shit out of, right? Before even trying to get onto the ladder. At this point, the scientists actually turned off the water faucets so that even if they were to get onto the ladder, they would not get sprayed. That was the 6th month, the new monkey. The first monkey was taken out of the equation. So it happened repeatedly until all of the monkeys that were inside of that building cycled all first 5 out. All of the monkeys that were inside of the building, they don't even know what happens until they won't even know what happens if they were to get onto that ladder. So you can imagine that out in life, in our relationships, in our business, in our companies, being a leader, you would experience times where probably in the past, someone was punished for doing something even to the minimum. So then once you get into that company, guess what? You're going to get punished as well. But you don't even know what the hell it is that you're getting punished for. It's just, it is what it is. That mentality, it is what it is. This is the way that it has been. This is the way we're going to be doing it. And you'll experience that a lot inside of the military because there's been previous leaders who come from a previous era of extreme pain and hurt, aka World War II, the Korean War, Pearl Harbor, and all they know is pain. All they know is that they have to get the mission done. So you can imagine the moment that a rookie gets into play or a brand new employee gets into play, they're going to get punished for doing even the most minimal thing that is out of the ordinary that they have never seen being done, because that's the way it is. So I have my little notes over here, so if I keep looking down, just please excuse me. So what I wanted to get over was the praise over punishment is when someone messes up all the time and all you want to do is punish them. Tiny little things. They forgot the keys to the car. They forgot to file paperwork. They forgot to pick up mail from the correspondence agency. They forgot to write up a memo, or they forgot a single little tiny minute thing inside of that memo that wasn't in place, that should have been in place, but they didn't put it in because they're brand new. The moment that they do that, we tend to punish the living shit out of them. Why'd you do that? You get fired for this. Don't ever do it again, right? Of course, now you're basing your business philosophy, you're basing your relationship, because it happens a lot in a relationship between a male and a female. The male comes home from work, works all day, and the male expects what? For everything to be cooked. That is not the way that it should be. You can't just punish your wife, you can't just punish your husband because they didn't do something because you expect them to do that, because that's the way it is. It's not like that. You can't just punish someone for doing something that gets you aggravated. There's a reason for everything, and there's a balance that should be held. So the question is, how can I not put punishment into a relationship? How can I not put punishment into a business? How can I not put punishment into the workplace and still get the desired result of coming home after work and having food on the table, or get the desired result of, without punishment, getting that tiny little thing into that memo, or getting my employee to go do these things without having to completely, utterly punish the shit out of them. Like, for instance, those monkeys. So you got to understand the equation. The input that you put into something times the output that you get from it will equal a result. Now, the amount of time and effort that you put into your relationship will ultimately determine some sort of outcome that you'll be able to have, and the caliber of the outcome that you get will determine your desired result. So if what you're inputting is punishment, if what you're inputting is anger, if what you're inputting is reprisal, then what do you expect to get out of it? You're going to expect to get what it is that you wanted, but guess what? It's not going to be a loving relationship. It's not going to be a well-versed company. It's not going to have a good dynamic within the workplace. So the desired result that you're going to get the result, but you're going to have a very low morale within your company or within your relationship. So how can one person develop a better strategy? Because it's all about making something better. It's never about changing a relationship. Because as well as that, and I'm talking about a relationship right now, A man that believes that a woman should do something for a reason will believe that that woman is not good enough for him, and then that's when you see infidelity. That's when you see cheating. That's when you see misguidance. That's when you see lust over love. You have to make that relationship better. It's not about getting a new relationship, it's about making that relationship better. That goes with relationship, that goes with company, that goes with a business. Look at Apple. I said it in my previous podcast. What did Apple do to their MacBook? They made a better MacBook. They didn't just change the MacBook. Of course, they changed it with tiny little things by adding an M1 chip, but they made the MacBook better. They made the iPhone better. That's why they're a continuous growing company. Look at loving relationships. People that have been together for 70 years. Yes, they argue. They probably have some hurt or something going wrong, but they focus on making the relationship better. They don't focus on changing the relationship, they focus on making it better. And that goes back to what I say all the time. It's not the conditions that need to change, it is your behaviors that need to change, and it's your behaviors that need to be better. Because your conditions will change as long as your behaviors and your habits have a different route. So, this goes to say, there's a line to be crossed which defines the lower level people and the higher, more outstanding or better standard individuals. And that level is the level of effort required to not get fired, or the level of effort required to not get yelled at, compared to the discretionary effort that an individual may have. So what do I mean by that? Let's go back to the relationship portion. The level of effort required for me not to get yelled at by my wife is for me to get home, put my head down, throw away the trash, not talk to her, because apparently every time I talk, she's going to get mad at me, she's going to yell at me for some reason that has happened, or because she went to her workplace and, I don't know, Sean over there thinks that he's the best person in the company, and now she's mad because of that, and she's going to tear out all her anger on you. Or vice versa. If you are a female and your man expects you to do these certain things that you ultimately believe that you shouldn't have to do, and I agree with that, but you're being trained that the level of effort required for your husband not to yell at you, for your husband not to cheat on you, is for you to do these things. So you can imagine the amount of hurt, the amount of input put into it, and the amount of output that you're getting is not going to be the desired result that you want. So you need to live above. You need to be at that discretionary effort standpoint. Now, the time that I have outside of work, the time that I have outside of my relationship, what am I doing to better it? In my company, with Uprise, I am doing these podcasts when I am not working. That is my discretionary effort. I am doing these podcasts, probably writing up these podcasts at work when I'm having a break. That is that discretionary effort. If I were to be in a relationship, I would probably try to call my wife or call my spouse or call my fiance in times where I have a break. Hey, I was just thinking about you. Just wanting you to know I'm having a good day. I hope you're having a good day as well. See you later. Mwah, right? Girls love that. Once they have the attention from their man, they know that they're going to have a great relationship. But if you don't do those things, if you stick to that level of effort required, or I'm going to talk about it in a little bit more of a taboo sense. If you work at the level of effort required just to get sex and not to get love, guess what? The desired result is going to be shitty. You get me? So you want to always live off of that discretionary effort phase. When you're building your company, you're going to want to build your company in the times that you're not at work. From that 8 to 5, you're at your job. From 5 to 8, you're working on your company. Of course, you need to sleep, right? But in those moments where you're home and you're using your net time, like I've said in previous episodes, your net time is the most important portion as well. When you're washing the dishes, that's probably a point in time where you can talk to your wife, have a conversation with her. When you're washing the dishes, that's probably a point in time where you can put in a podcast, listen to it. When you're working out, but you also have your ears available, you have your eyes available. You can watch a movie that is dedicated to inspiration. You can watch a episode about Big Think, and that's a very good actual channel, Big Think. If you haven't checked it out, I suggest you check it out. But the point that I'm trying to make And so there's so much time that we can put into these things that we don't put into it because we're trained to be at the level of effort required to not get fired, to not get yelled at. For instance, in these podcasts, if I probably never got anyone to watch these videos, then I wouldn't make videos. Because you're training me that the videos aren't the things that enlighten you, aren't the things that excite you. But because you guys like my videos, because I have so much subscribers, guess what? I'm going to keep on making those videos. I'm going to keep on making this type of content. You're training me to do that. And what that does is makes me utilize my discretionary effort even more. It elevates it. So if we could go back to the monkey stepladder experiments, what would I do differently if I was the monkey? If the monkeys even have some sort of cognitive ability to think like humans do. Matter of fact, I would wait till all the other monkeys are asleep, climb up the ladder, grab the bananas, go back down, eat myself like 3 bananas because I was the one that used my discretionary effort after they were asleep and I was the one that was awake, and give the rest of them away so that they know, this whole thing is just a lie. We should have never done that. And you'll see that in the workplace. You'll see that in businesses. You'll see that in relationships. There's been times where I've seen that a female will get into a relationship and they're afraid. They're afraid. Why? Because their experiences in the past are what they expect to happen in the future. What does it take for that woman to fully be vulnerable and open up? It takes a strong man to come up into the plate and use his discretionary effort to ensure that her life is what it is that she believed it should have been, from that tiny little girl that was like, oh, I want a beautiful wedding. I want this guy to buy me flowers. I want this guy to cook for me every day, right? All females would love that. Even in your workplace, if you're entering a company, if you're entering a job, that job is based off of punishment, it's probably because somewhere around the line it was lost. And the only way for you to change it is to utilize your discretionary effort. So I'm going to reiterate, in a business or in a relationship, in a job that is based off of punishment, individuals will get to the level of least effort. How do you get higher performance? How do you get your, let's say me, for instance, I'm a leader now. How do I get the people below me to have higher performance without having to punish them? You raise the bar. And like I've always loved to say this to my soldiers. The only way for you to improve is just 2 millimeters of a difference. You start from a regular standard, 2 millimeters above that, you have a good standard. Guess what? Once you're at that good standard, you have 2 millimeters above that as well. You have a great standard. But the standard that is the one that everyone should strive for is 2 millimeters above a great standard. And that is outstanding standards. Those standards that you utilize your discretionary effort and you buy those roses for your wife, and you get your subordinates under you into this environment that you're always learning, by giving them the education that they need, by giving them the mentorship that they need. That is how you ultimately outperform any business, any company, and any relationship. Talking about relationships, there's 3 levels of relationship. The first level of relationship is where the partner is trying to meet their own needs first. So if we were to put that as an example, a man, because based off of experience with my family before, I have noticed that maybe the man would be the one to prioritize his needs before his wife's. So he'll get home, he'll be like, whoa, where's my sustenance? Where's my downtime? Where's my this? Where's my that? And you hear that all the time. That level 1 relationship is where the partner only tries to satisfy their own needs. A level 2 relationship is when the partner satisfies the other partner's needs but expects something in return. Or in other case, horse trading, which is where the taboo word whoring comes into play. And a man can do that as well. A man can be like, oh, well, you want a little bit of attention? I got you. I'm gonna do this for you, and only if you feed me at the end of the day after I come to work. It's that simple. That is the prime example of horse trading. You get back into you get out of work, you go to your house, you buy them flowers just for the sole expectation of just getting food. And the moment that you don't get food, or you don't get that food cooked for you, guess what? You're extremely pissed, you're extremely aggravated, because you're only caring about fulfilling their needs to trade something. And that's not all right when it comes to relationships. And as I'm talking about the relationship portion, think about that as a relationship outside of an actual intimate one with your comrades or with your workmates or your employees. The level 3 relationship, which is the highest level of relationship that you can get into, is when both partners focus on fulfilling each other's needs without expecting anything in return. Think about it like this. When you're having that love, when you're being a little intimate, isn't it a lot better when they both focus on pleasing each other without expecting something? If you're having that romantic night, it's Valentine's Day, and the whole day was perfect, and now you're drinking a little bit of wine, and you're starting to wind down, and you're in bed and you're having a little fun, wouldn't you expect to be pleased in a way that is unimaginable, to be commanded in a way that is unimaginable? Yeah. But guess what? That person is doing it for you without expecting something in return. Now, if the other partner does the same exact thing, that's an unconditional relationship. There's unconditional love. Let's take the intimate portion out. Take it into the workplace. If you focus on giving your workmates all of your energy without expecting anything in return, you're probably going to be one of the more higher honored individuals in that workplace. You're going to be one of the more higher mentioned individuals in that workplace as well. So last but not least, I'm going to say you got to raise the bar. You got to live that outstanding standard. You got to live in that level 3 relationship. And at the end, I'm going to end it off at this. Courage is not the reaction against fear. Courage is defined as the response despite the fear that you may have. And that goes for all of you young men out there. You guys need to hear that. Because no matter what, your woman expects you to raise the bar. Time and time again, women will always challenge the man in ways that you may not be able to understand yet, because you probably haven't experienced it. But do not ever think that by you changing the relationship, it'll get better. Because that's when you get into infidelity. And that's when you get into that whole aspect of an action of lust versus an action of anger is more dangerous than an action of anger. That's said by Marcus Aurelius, right? But I'm actually very appreciative that I was partnered with the owner of this place to be able to film this podcast for you guys in a new environment. Tomorrow, I believe I'm going to be interviewing someone else here today, and it's going to be a very good show. For all you individuals that are actually here near the acai bowl place in Chemo Farms, give it a touch up. Promise you, this place is going to be at a standard that you would want to expect for the place that you're living in. So take control of your life, live with passion. Gonzo out.